Hello and welcome to MechaHack, the Quiet City. It is far in the future. The military struggle in the fight against the Kaiju threat, leading to many cities, just like this one, destroyed, leaving scavengers and those trying to survive to gather broken down parts to even attempt to build their own mecha. You and your friends are part of one of those groups. You have managed to build your mechas from scrap parts found from the military mechs that were destroyed in the War of Earth within this city. Scattered around, parts here and there. Most of them have already been picked clean, but from scavenging runs and trades in the black market, you've managed to put together what you need to keep your crew alive. The city is quiet. Nothing but stillness in the air. So why not attempt one last run in hopes of finding better equipment to keep you going, in hopes that something might turn humanity's chances around for the better. The two of you and your mechas find yourself with your floodlights on, deep within sewer tunnels. Now, this is the far future of Earth. Mechas aren't uncommon. These sewer tunnels have been rebuilt to befit working mechs and other such nature, so you're able to fit no problem. As you're moving down the tunnels, who do we see first? Who would like to describe their mech first? Who is pushing down the tunnel to the street you need to arrive to?
Do we fit in tunnels?
You do.
Yeah.
These are mecha-sized tunnels. They have been rebuilt and repurposed once mechs started becoming more used. They were used once working mechs started to become a thing, and maintenance needed to be done where human bodies did not work anymore. So your mechs do fit. It might be cramped for maybe the bigger sized mechs, but you are able to move through these sewer tunnels.
Fantastic. I'd like to think I would be in front then.
Well, as you're in front moving down, what does your mech look like? Who are you?
So, scratched into the chest plate of my mech is the name Dagger Eon. The front chest plate with the center heart, almost like Iron Man, is kind of like pulsing red purple as it constantly changes colors as if it's beating, and it's surrounded by a mechanical plate of what almost looks like armor weave. And as I extend my arm through, as I'm like crawling through this tunnel, you can see almost what looks like a fleshy mech arm as my Kaiju mech hybrid is on all fours, crawling towards the light of the open street ahead. Inside the mech is a pilot. His name is Moff Junsho, and he's plugged in with a harness with a little too many IVs almost, and there's different colored liquids going in and out of the IVs as I'm strapped in, connected with this biomech.
Ooh. Very fun. Behind Dagger Eon, right? Is that what it was?
Dagger Eon.
Dagger Eon. Behind Dagger Eon, who leads the rear?
Like, I almost imagine, his, walks out, and then, out of the shadow, the first thing you see is, huge greatsword chain blade, scritching on the ground as, this big knightly figure with, spikes that are literally, sparking off the, walls and shit as it's, barely fitting through, is, this, gigantic colossus of a of a mech. Inscribed, like, almost like someone welded it along the, like, one of the shoulder blades is Nightblade, his call sign. And inside of the mech is I had his name. Where did I put that? I had his name. Where did I put that? Anyways, I forget his name now.
I see it on the sheet. Is it Xander Voidwell?
Oh, yes. Why would that be all the way up there? Okay, I'm smart. Anyways, yes, Xander Voidwell. Essentially super suspended by, like, the back, and, like, just in, like, an internal, like, exoskeleton that's, like, controlling the movements of the overall mech.
Very fun. The two of you have looted most of the city. As a joke, and because it's funny. We'll say, we're actually not far in the future. You guys are just in modern day Detroit. Because Detroit is bad everywhere, in every sci-fi show. But no, it is the far future. You have looted most of the city. You have found most of the old, defunct military mechs. But you haven't been in this new specific district. You do not know what lies ahead of you. You just know that it has been quiet. You know that Kaiju have not been seen in your city for years. In fact, you've never even faced one yourself. You are scavengers looking for new parts, and this is a new location of the city. You find yourselves... Oh, go ahead.
I may not have seen one in person, but my mech is crafted from the carapace of a dead Kaiju, mixed in with different loot that I was able to scavenge from other military mechs, but it's kind of patched together with this muscle and sinew, and merging a cockpit in and morphing it all into one.
Quite possibly bought off the black market. Kaiju parts fetch for a hefty price.
It's more machine now than Kaiju. Sorry.
But you all find yourself at the end of this tunnel. Not even on the end of this tunnel. You find yourself at the edge of this tunnel, which leads to a almost oily riverbed. The water, once flourishing ages ago, is now this oily, brackish color. Corruption of the Kaiju wars. And you're able to surface and find yourselves on the streets that you see on the map before you. This is a new section of the city ahead of you.
Coming out of the tunnels, Dagger Eon stands up and almost like stretches. Like if he was just himself, it would be cracking his back, but the blades that are welded onto the spine just kind of like flex as I shrug my shoulders and stretch, standing up to my full height. And then I pull off my back this giant, what looks to be like a crafted axe out of some piece of machinery that's been just ground down to a very fine edge, and it's a big battle axe. But I draw it and look over to see where my comrade is, if he's able to get out okay of the small hole compared to his mech.
Essentially at that moment, Nightblade kind of like gets stuck a little bit for a second and kind of just forces its way through, breaking a little piece of the like entrance off behind him.
Roll me a mobility, please, Nightblade.
Okay. I love these. These are my favorite. I rolled a 15. I failed at mobility.
So you do not get stuck. Or you do get stuck. Maybe like a piece of your shoulder armor, the heavy thickness of your mech does get stuck on the tunnel, as you say, and you pull it out, Except you do not rip a tiny chunk off as you pull yourself free. Unfortunately, behind you, you hear the sound of boom, 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 boom as the entire tunnel entrance collapses in on itself.
Hear like a little chuckle, and then like overcomes. Well, we don't have to worry about anything following us.
Yeah, it also makes this a one-way trip. We're gonna have to find an alternate route back. That's okay. We got this.
I do like a fist with my open hand. And as I do so, you can see there's a big blaster cannon above my wrist when I make a fist on my right arm.
I like that visual. So, a broken tunnel behind you. You are able to, as I said, if you would envision the city, if you will, to your left is a river, this brackish river, which has long been corrupted from the Kaiju wars. You might even say, rumors and theories abound that Kaiju blood itself has spilled into the river, turning it dead. And to your right, you are able to go over the banisters and onto the city street, which is where you find this map.
Can I take a running start and just try to climb up over to the upper level? I presume it's like kind of like here.
Where?
Like climb up onto the I don't really want to be in the river well here.
Sure. So I'm going to ask for a power. It's not that, for you to jump up there, you can jump up there. The power is more so, will you collapse the building underneath your feet?
So, is there a special way to roll in here? Just roll flat dice, or should I roll real dice? What do you prefer?
You can roll either one if you want to just roll a d20 on roll 20, or if you want to use real dice.
I prefer real dice.
For context to the viewer, MechaHack is an under d20 system. You want to roll under your stat, so in case of Nightblade, they needed to roll under a 7 for their mobility for a success. Real dice are very fun to use in this system. It's not necessary, but it is encouraged. So you got an 8 under 15?
Correct.
So, Dagger Eon, you are able to get a running start and leap up onto... I believe this is actually meant to be... Well, this does look like a building. I believe this is meant to be almost like like an upper ground railway system. You're able to jump and land on the 2 tracks without it buckling under your feet.
Can I see anything up ahead further away now that I've got a point of elevation? Or would I need to climb higher than that?
Would you like to roll me a systems, please?
Fail.
Fail. You look out towards the street and further. You just hear quiet. There's no birds in the sky even. You are truly in a quiet, dead city. But your scanners don't seem to be picking anything up.
Also, I misread that. I've got a 14 power, so it's 8 under 14, not 15. But yeah.
How about you, Nightblade? Or go ahead, Dagger.
Scanners are not picking up anything. It's a little groggy, and I tap my helmet or my mech head, trying to reattach the cable ports into the Kaiju's brain or whatever it is, however it's synced up.
Xander takes a look around his cockpit and kind of giggles to himself, looking at how bare bones his systems are, and is like, I mean, I could try, and he tries to do something. I have an 8. Oh, I rolled a 4. Excellent.
And that is your systems?
Yeah.
You hit some buttons, and you get almost like a holographic map ahead of you, like almost like a Star Warsy red scan of the street ahead of you. And you are able to see dotted across the street, and Dagger Eon is actually quite lucky where he jumped. As you look around, and dotted across the street, you see poking out from various areas seem to be laser tripwires.
Oh.
Dotting the
You
field.
I haven't seen them, right?
You have
I'm
not
just
seen
dumb
them.
luck.
Nightblade has seeded their systems, and on their map view, it is pinged these explosive laser mines littered
Right,
around.
Am I able to, like, look at my mini map in my cockpit and, like, ping those locations and, like, to his mini map or whatever?
Yeah, I'll say yes. And Dagger Eon, as you get these pings in your comms and your mini map within your cockpit, as you're kind of looking around, you see you've managed to land directly almost a couple of inches ahead of one of these trip mines. If you would have failed your mobility, you would have fallen backwards or taken a step backwards into a landmine.
Oh fuck. If I'm notified of that, Moth inside of Dagger Eon is going to detach himself from the mech suit, or from his mech cockpit, and all of the coils and tubes detach and hiss, and Moth's eyes roll back into his head for a little bit as he gets unattached from the mech, and then the back opens and slides out, and he drops down into a crouch on the train railway here, outside of his mech. And he's a little dizzy as he readjusts himself to just being human by itself again. You can see there's a little trickle of red blood out of one nostril and blue blood out of the other. And he's going to go look at the mine up close outside of his mech to try to avoid any triggers. And I'd like to investigate it.
You certainly can. I think out of mech rolls still use the same skills.
Yeah, it's just if it goes off, I insta-die.
Yeah, if it goes up,
Sure.
And this is how the one shot ends. Roll me a. I think this would just fall under systems again.
It landed like on the keyboard and it's in the middle between 16 and 18, so I can roll again.
Yeah,
or I can die.
if it lands cocked, or if you have any hazards in the way, you can roll again.
Okay, well, it was on the keyboard with no clear things. So I'm gonna
If
try.
it's not on the table, it's not legal.
8 under 12.
8 under 12. So success. You saddle up to this mine, and now this landmine is meant for Kaiju extermination. You can see, rather hilariously, almost etched on the side of the mine says property of the U.S. military.
I found something, Nightblade. You found something. This could be the first of a pretty decent haul.
And the mine itself is about the size of, like, an elephant's foot.
Yep.
It is
Exactly what I was
gigantic.
imagining.
It is large. It is meant for something large to step on it and trigger it.
Being outside of my mech, can I find a control panel or arming system and deactivate it?
That is an interesting question. What would that fall under? I hate to keep asking for systems, but I feel like that is our best role here for you to try and find the correct wiring,
Natural 20.
which is a fail.
Goodbye.
You
I'm gonna be get a new mech.
You... I'm going to tell you. I'm not going to blow you up. You it's not that you find it's not that you do find the wiring and blow yourself up. You just don't find any hatch that you can think you can take apart.
Okay.
Now, if you did succeed, found the wires, and then got a natural 20, we might be saying goodbye, Dagger Eon.
Fair. Fair.
But you do not find the hatch, period, to get to the wires. But as you're looking at the wires, Nightblade, is there anything you're doing while Dagger Eon is out of their mech and investigating the trip mine?
Yes. Knowing that, like, you know, like, he's currently out of his mech, and, like, theoretically we could be attacked at any time, he's gonna, like, try to, like, go into a more defensive stance. Essentially, like, all over his body there are certain areas that, like, at the moment are a little less armored, and essentially little plates are gonna, like, slide out from other pieces of armor, like, reinforcing himself a little bit more as he activates his siege mode.
Would you like to describe to us what siege mode does?
Yes, it is one of my chassis abilities. As soon as I can find where... Oh, it's actually called Garrison Mode. Siege Mode is something else, I am sorry. As a use action, I can enter Garrison Mode. I need to roll my reactor die, which is a d6. I rolled a 5. Nothing fancy happens. At this point, I can roll a d4 to all of my damage rolls and add that to it, and anytime that I am damaged, I can roll a d4 and remove that. I also have disadvantage on mobility tests right now, and it takes an action for me to, like, exit this mode.
And do you garrison exactly where your token is, kind of on the side street? Do you go further into the main road, or do you go closer to Dagger Eon, or are you just bunkering down where you are? I'm going to assume you just bunker down where you are.
No, I'm talking, but I'm muted. Does it seem like I could probably get, like, over here without setting off any of the mines?
Where?
Right here.
Oh yes, this mine right here is in front of you, in a set of rubble. There do not seem to be any mines over here, except the one that is plastered on the side of the subway wall.
Okay, so he'll move, like, kind of, like, right there first, as, like, I kind of imagine, like, since we're not actually in combat, he's, like, walking over there, and then as he's walking, it's starting to happen, but, like, noticeably, he's moving a lot slower afterwards, because there's less, like, flex to stuff and all of that.
And as you're walking and you begin to bunker down and take your garrison, can you roll me a mobility with disadvantage?
Yes, I can. 15.
15.
Over 7.
So a failure.
Oh yeah, like, maybe, yes.
As you bunker down and hit your positions, both of you hear a loud crack, a loud cocoon come from out of nowhere. And you feel, Nightblade, I know you have the ability to reduce damage, but you feel a large bullet of some kind strike against your armor for 3 points of damage.
Okay, so I need well, I'll just roll it on here for now, because I don't have one on me. I can do that in the meantime, though. I reduce it by 3 damage, the bullet hits, and it just like happens to hit right as one of the like garrison mode like plates come down, and it ricochets off away from vitals and just does nothing.
And it is mechs fire large bullets. They fire what are essentially, tank shells. So your plates come down and just deflect this tank shelled size bullet. And the way initiative here works is you roll your mobility. You test your mobility or your system, whichever is higher. If you succeed, you take your turn before the enemies. If you fail, you take your turn after. So both of you, please roll your systems or your mobility, whichever is higher.
I passed under systems.
So I'm gonna go for systems because that's better. 16 over 8.
So you have failed. So the way it's going to go is Dagger Eon, enemy, then Nightblade. Dagger Eon, you are out of your mech. You hear this loud boom and the sound of a shell striking Nightblade. What do you do?
The first thing I absolutely do is jump away from the mine. I almost dive for cover at the feet of my mech, and then as soon as I've realized the explosion was not anywhere near me and it was not the mine I was basically standing on, I will dive into the cockpit, which lifts back up into the back of my mech and seals itself. All the needles and tubes come down and I reconnect into it. And as my vision kind of blurs and reopens, the Kaiju mech combination head, the eyes open, and I can see once again through its eyes. And I think entering my mech is an action. For a move,
actions, you can perform any 2 actions. The available type actions are move, attack, test, and use abilities. It does not say anything about entering your mech. But I will say maybe it would have been an action to move or move to a near location, but because you are the near location, I'm going to say entering your mech within this close distance is just free. Now, if you were down by Nightblade and had to run up into the subway, mounting your mech would be an action, but I will give it to you for free. And you get you can perform any 2 actions: move, attack, test an attribute, or use an ability.
Okay, as my systems come online and the mech's Kaiju eyes open, can I check systems and try to find out where the shot came from?
You may. Please roll systems with disadvantage.
Ooh. Orange and yellow d20s. That's a disadvantage 19 over 12. Fail.
You activate your systems. You do not see any signs of activity on your radars. You know there was a shot. You're not able to trace it.
Okay. Can I push and roll my reactor and scan again?
Let's see. It is possible to take the same action twice, but you must roll your reactor die. Yes, you may.
Hold on. My reactor die.
And I believe if you get a 1 or a 2, your reactor die downsizes. If your reactor die downsizes all the way to a D4, and you roll a 1 or a 2 on a D4, I believe you become immobilized.
Rebecca took the keyboard, so I'm behind. I rolled a 5 out of 6 for my reactor die. Pass.
Pass.
And then scanning again, still with disadvantage.
Still with disadvantage.
Still 19 and 16.
Unfortunate. You hit your maybe it's because you rebooted. You had to get back into your mech and reconnect the first time. You try again a second time. Whoever you're against is just hidden that well.
We got a sniper, Nightblade. Watch yourself.
During your turn, you can perform any 2 actions. This by no means... so those are your actions that you've taken.
Correct.
And as you call out, there is a sniper. Nightblade, please roll me another mobility with disadvantage, as they are going to try and take another shot at you.
10 over 7.
10 over 7, so fail. So they are going to take another pot shot at the garrisoned mech. For one singular point of damage.
If I reduce that damage by more than, like, a certain amount, like, at what point am I hurting the enemy? Anyways, I rolled a 4, so do I heal armor? No.
Again, the shell just bounces off your thick mech. For something that you built in a cave with scraps.
No, even better for cinematic, because it's so like I rolled a 4 on the reduction. He straight up just like parries it, like takes like his shield in his other arm and just like bats it aside.
And you know the sound of a you know the sound when enemy artillery fires, and the sound of the bouncing shell as they pull it out. The tink sound of a disengaged shell. That's the sound it makes as you just bat the shell away. And it is your turn.
Yeah, so I'm gonna take an action and roll my reactor die. So I rolled a 5, so this will not do anything fancy, but it will, keep my reactor going. So essentially, I now enter into barricade mode. I will take another disadvantage on my mobility, but I reduce any incoming damage by half and provide cover to myself and close mecha. But have yeah. Oh, and I can't move until, like, I'm in, like, phalanx. I'm essentially taking my shield and, like, slamming it in the ground in front of me, and it's, like, opening up even a little bit, like, creating kind of, like an extended wall.
Yeah, a one-man phalanx.
Yeah. And, yeah, so that's happening. Well, actually, before I do that, I will probably, like, move forward a little bit more so that when Dagger hops down, he can, like hop down behind me if he needs to for cover, and then I will do it.
Alright.
So, like, maybe, like, I don't know, like, here or whatever.
Alright, so you move at one action, second action, hunker down, slam your shield down. As the shield slams down and digs into the earth here and breaks the concrete of the street, back on top of the train, Dagger Eon.
The second shot from just a minute ago, would I have been able to see that, or still he's unknown whereabouts?
I would still have to ask for a systems. Actually, let me double check on that front.
That would make sense. I'm gonna actually, as a free, if I can, just talk over comms. Nightblade, do you have any idea where he is? Have you seen him?
I haven't pinpointed him, but I have kind of a general direction as he keeps firing at me.
Is he to the north, downrange in this picture?
Nightblade will almost, like, try not to chuckle and be like, I don't know, maybe he's the direction I'm facing.
And if you do want to try and scan for him, it will be a systems.
Yeah, I'm gonna do systems.
If you get with Nightblade kind of calling out to you, I will cancel out the disadvantage and give you a straight roll.
Okay, yellow die. 9 under 12.
9 under 12. Your systems finally fully boot up now that you're inside, and you see the glint, but more importantly, the active camo fading of a mech sniper in a high-rise.
Okay. I'm going to just lift up my arm on this side is more mech than Kaiju, definitely. But I'm going to ball my hand into a fist, and then the cannon mounted above my wrist is going to point at it, and I assume it's like this tower or something.
This one right here, if you see him.
Oh, I didn't see him until you just pointed that out. I was really looking in the wrong place. No wonder I'm failing my system so much. I'm going to just try to blast the specifically the floor underneath him. Like if he's
Okay.
occupying one of the top levels,
Mhm.
I'm going to try to dislodge him from that building. So test power for just a standard beam cannon.
Yes, test power is tested for strength and attacks.
Okay. That's a 10 under 14.
And what is the damage of your beam cannon?
The damage is a fantastic D10.
Would you like to roll one for me?
I would absolutely like to roll one. I just don't want to roll a percentile D10. I want to roll a real D10. 6 damage.
6
And that is
damage.
not a heavy weapon, so it's just 6 flat.
6 flat. Okay, you fire, and you are able to blast this high rise, and the building just crumbles, and you can see the outline of this sniper mecha on your systems fall several stories. You can still sense its vitals. The mecha does not seem to be deactivated, but it has taken a very heavy hit and has fallen. With 6 damage in the state of the tower, you've gotten it near ground level. You've taken out. You see a giant chunk of this high rise is just melted from the beam of your cannon.
Oh, I'm sorry to just ask one question. How far away is he in a range band? Because that might have given me disadvantage.
How far can you fire?
I think a beam is close and near, and then if he's far, it's at disadvantage, if I recall.
He would be far.
Okay, so I rolled a 10 under 14. I'll roll a disadvantage. 11 under 14.
So, same effect.
So, yeah, same effect.
So, you've fired, you've scanned, you've dropped him down. That is your turn?
Yep. No. That's oh no, system scan was
Yes.
an action. Yeah, so that's my turn.
That goes to the mecha sniper, who's going to take an action to get up. And you can see, both of you now see him. There's a large chunk missing from this this high rise. As I said, he's close to ground level, and you see him stand back up and lift a chunk of rubble off him. The sniper he has is almost like bolted into his mech, and so it's still dangling off of him. And you see him open up or hit some buttons on one of his on his left hand, and you see this almost like shattering active camo take him over once again, and that is his turn as it goes to Nightblade.
So I know kind of the rough direction he was standing, right?
Yes.
I'm gonna throw my great sword. No, I'm going. I'm gonna roll for systems to try to detect where he's at.
That is with disadvantage because he is in active camo.
This is gonna be rough.
16 over 8. I don't see shit.
You do not. You saw him hit the active camo, but then who knows where he is.
I have a question. Actually, I'll ask on my turn.
Ah,
So that is one turn from Nightblade, or one action. Anything else?
pew 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 pew. Nah, I'll just wait.
Okay, Dagger Eon, back to you.
How many range movements is it to get to here?
I'll say getting down here, it would be going from I'd say close to near.
What about up to this mine general area?
I'd say the entire street is kind of close to near. If you wanted to go up to the other buildings, I'd say that's far.
Okay, so getting to this mine is just one range band?
Yeah.
Okay, I would like to leap off the train and then cross over, just sliding behind you for cover, And then, assuming I'm aware of the laser directions,
Yeah, you
I don't want to
see-
trigger the mine.
You can see them.
Okay, so I want to basically get up to it, and then with my axe, can I hold the concrete that it's attached to, and then just chop a big block of the concrete off so I'm holding the concrete with the mine fixed to it?
Sure, yes you can.
Okay, so do I need to roll power?
I will ask for a power.
Okay, I will be as careful as I can with this maneuver. That's a 5 under a 14.
You are able to do exactly what you want.
So with my mech hand, I will brace the chunk of concrete underneath the mine so I'm not physically touching it. And with my Kaiju arm, I'm just going to shave a huge big piece of the concrete off so it's disattached. That's a move and a dislodge chop for this, so that's all I can do.
So you're removing the mine from the concrete.
Yeah, I'm removing the concrete from the concrete with the mine on top.
Okay, but the mine's not moving location, staying where it is. You're just
it's still mounted to the concrete,
Yeah.
but I'm now holding a concrete that's in I'll just say throwable size.
okay. So the piece of concrete with the mine on it is in your hand.
Yeah, in my left hand. So I'm holding it in my right hand where the beam cannon is.
Let's see if I can.
Or if I need to drop the axe and hold it with two hands, I'll do that.
I'll say you can hold it as is. Let's see if
Perfect.
I can try it.
That was the point of chopping the concrete block. And I don't want to disattach any of its hardware. So if it's like anchored into that concrete, it's at least still anchored.
Alright, so that is your turn. It goes to the Mecha Sniper. Well, I'm going to make a roll for. Okay. The Mecha Sniper. I would like Dagger Eon to give me a mobility, please.
Oh, this is not great. 19 over 8 fail.
19 over 8. As you're picking up the mine, you're still able to hold it, but the active camo of the Mecha Sniper fades out, and he rushes you with the end of his rifle, which holds affixed to it is this very large, almost gigantic-sized Bowie knife of a bayonet, and he stabs into your shoulder for 3 points of damage.
Can I reactively spin a little so my mech arm, which is the right side, the big shoulder pauldron absorbs some of the damage? I've got 5 armor points with my heavy armor. I'd like to use 3 of them to take that damage.
You
from me.
certainly can.
Okay, so I've got 2 armor points left as I kind of take it stabbed into the armor, and just yank my arm free.
And as it stabs you and you yank it free, across from you is just, this sleek black and gray mecha with a greenish visor. You haven't heard any call-outs from this figure. It is almost just like dead quiet as it has been attacking you outside of the, the cocoons of the rifle shots. And it stabs you and just stares you down, ready for its next movement. But that is when we go to Nightblade.
Are they considered close to me?
I would say yes.
Okay. If they're considered close, he would still be getting cover from my my barricade. And then pew pew pew. I would like to swing with the great sword.
Sure.
Roll power, right?
Roll power.
That's 5 under 15.
And roll your damage.
That's D6 plus 2, so 5, 6, 7. But because I'm in garrison mode, I get to roll a D4. That's 4. Holy shit! So 11.
11 points of damage as you swing your weapon. How do you finish
And-
off the mecha sniper?
Hold up. I'm not actually done. I would like to roll my reactor to activate my
Sure.
chain blade.
Sure.
I rolled a 1. Holy crap, it actually happens. I downgrade to a D4 on my reactor,
Yes, you do.
but my chainsaw blade still goes off. So I get to roll that damage again. That's a 6. Holy crap. And then because I did damage, I get to roll garrison mode, a 1. Yeah.
How do you kill the mecha sniper?
I, like, straight up just, like, take this, like, chainsword greatsaw and just, like, rev it down the middle, like, ripping up dirt and debris and concrete. Like, it's bad.
As you cut down the mecha, there are sparks flying everywhere. Minor, small explosions. For a split second, you could swear you hear the shouts and screams of panic over your comms, but then you see a small blood spurt explosion as it reaches the cockpit, and you slice down the mech, and it is sliced in two on the streets of the city.
We found out.
Thought there were kaiju in this region. What is they? Another scrapper?
I'd like to use my boot to like roll over one of his body parts and see if there's anything worth salvaging.
Sure. Roll me a... Actually, you don't have to roll me anything. Actually, yes, you do. You're gonna roll me a... Let's see here. Roll me a d6, please.
The table. 2.
A 2. On one half of the mecha, you find an undetonated belt holding 2 frag grenades.
I'd like to take that.
You're able to take it, and as you reach down and grab it, on one of these shoulder pauldrons, where you're grabbing in your view, you see the symbol of the old United States military, not the new ones that are the new United States military that is trying to fight the kaiju back and failing. Whoever was in this mech was a remnant of the old U.S. Army.
I will gently set the concrete with the mine down, pick up the belt of the frags, and Nightblade, do you want one? 50-50?
I feel bad. I kind of just ruined some of that salvage.
There's still a little bit. Maybe I can even patch up some of this armor, except I'm not an engineer. Huh. It's okay. It's okay. I will give one grenade to you if you want and keep one for myself. And then I do want to pick up that mine again and just carry it with me.
Sure, you're able to carry an anti-kaiju mine with you. You have to be very careful, but you can carry it along with you.
If it goes off, I won't even know. Because I'll be dead.
Nightblade laughs and goes, "Make sure that you don't walk under any, like, bridges."
Good point. But if there's one of these remnants, there might be more. And someone might have hurt us. That might bring more.
I bet it would be fun to throw that at a kaiju.
What I want to do. I almost want to just shoot one of these buildings and see if it brings out anything.
Do you want it?
Awfully tempted. What do you want to do, Nightblade? You want to just hold up here and see what happens if we bring in some monsters running up this oil field lane of Old River?
Would be interesting.
Okay. I would like to face the furthest building I can see, and I want to use my Maw Beam. And the Kaiju Jaw distends. I have to test power. That's a 4 under a 9.
Okay.
And a beam of just red energy spews out from my mouth, and it can go up to an enemy within far range. And I'm just shooting at a building, so not really anything specific. And then I have to roll my reactor die.
And if this does have
6.
damage, do roll me damage, please.
Deal damage dice, which is a D10. I rolled a 1 for my reactor, so it downgrades to a 4. That's 7 damage.
7
I now have a 4.
damage. Okay.
Mhm.
You fire out. Can the two of you please roll me systems?
Systems? Yes. Oh man, I would way rather it be presence. I rolled a 2. 2 under 8 for systems.
Okay. The both of you. So, let me describe real quick. You are scrappers in this city. This city, appropriately titled the Quiet City, has been dead for, at most, maybe a year and some months now. The U.S. military, the new U.S. military, has vacated the city, leaving it to the scrappers, to the vagrants. Where you live is considered dead. Kaiju have not been seen within this city since the new U.S. military has evacuated. The two of you have never seen a Kaiju. Despite Dagger Eon being made of Kaiju parts, you might have bought it in the black market, etc., but you have yet to see a living Kaiju. Describe again this Maw Beam as you fire it, please.
It's like red energy that it's different from an energy weapon like the plasma cannon. This one's like if Kaiju Rage had a color, it'd be that kind of burning energy.
So you fire this burning beam of energy, and both of your systems go haywire. You see something large on your maps. You're able to see it on your maps, you're able to see it with your eyes as you fire into this building, leaving a melted hole. And you see this winged creature that was curled up on the other side of the building. It has this lower jaw with 2 extended talon-like fangs jutting up, and these almost humanoid eyes and like concaved ears. It has this slithery like tail and these sinewy wings under its clawed arms. And you see a melted spot on its almost leathery like skin, and it looks through this melted hole and lets out this and begins flying away deeper into the city.
Ooh, they fly now.
I also hope that sound came through the microphone.
I heard the first half. I think it cut off the second. It was good though.
Which now I'm gonna ask for a presence.
Ooh. 5 under 9. I'm rolling good tonight.
9 under 15.
Both of you, despite seeing this kaiju for the first time, you do not feel fear. but rather a sense of awe.
Part of Moff's just persona is living in this dystopian future. He's come to just accept death comes when it does, and he lives life as if it doesn't matter. So here, this very stupid decision to just blow up something in the distance to see what happens. Now they're all in for the ride.
I imagine like Nightblade like is just like revving the freaking greatsword, and like in the inside it's just this like veteran with like scars all over his face and a wicked grin, just ready for it.
You guys begin chasing down the beast.
No, I want it to come to us. I'm going to reposition some right next to the fortified ally of Nightblades.
You did see after you fired at it, it did take off deeper into the city.
Oh, I thought it was coming towards us.
It got hit and then flew behind the city, behind the building. Which is why I ask if you take off running for it.
I don't really want to give chase. I want it to come to us. I think there's 2 songs playing.
There are. That is correct. That is on purpose, by design.
Okay. What do you think, Nightblade? Something like that's not been seen. We could make a fortune on the market.
Nightblade exits barricade mode, which does not require a reactor, and it just takes an action, and then would also exit his other mode, which I think only takes an action. Yes, a use action. But because I did that, that would technically be a reactor, which was a 4. So, like, he like vents kinetic energy around him, which doesn't do anything right now because there are no enemies around me. It looks cool. Would my like kinetic, like, you know, like reactor venting like cause the like oils in the like riverway to kind of like ignite?
You know what? Yes, as you vent this excess heat, it ignites some of the oils behind you. It's a slow spark, but you've asked for it, you brought it up. Behind you begins to spark and ignite all the way down to the river, leaving essentially only forward as you've created this wall of flames behind you.
Oh no, I have straight up just blocked our path this entire time.
Let's see.
The only thing is I don't want to, I'm gonna look at the mine that I'm holding in my other hand and then just pass it to the kaiju arm, set down after setting down my axe, and I'm going to just... Oh, hello.
This is the wall of fire that
I want to make sure...
has been created.
Where's that fire armor? It's 75% fire reduction, please. As long as this is in not close range, I would like to shoot it with my beam cannon.
You can shoot it with your beam cannon, and the mine blows up and ignites and combusts. And just is gone.
Forward.
I mean, you're shooting a landmine with a beam cannon. It's gonna explode. And it is so big, it leaves a large, like, crater almost within the concrete.
Alright. I will proceed down towards the crater and towards the flyaway kaiju.
Okay. Nightblade, do you follow as well? Are you both running deeper into the city? Alright.
Yeah.
You don't even need to do a systems roll. You are able to track the flying creature. It is large. It is big. You are able to follow it behind skyscrapers where it sees you on approach. It lets out another this bat-like screech. And I would like the two of you, please, to roll mobility for your initiative against the Kaiju Tyrant. I will increase its picture so you can get a better look at the beast.
Now we're talking.
Hey, that's an enemy from Final Fantasy VIII.
Oh, wonderful. I just Googled.
What's jump gate?
Jump gate?
Yeah, Roll20 saying try jump gate.
Oh, it's the new beta. But we're not using their beta. We're doing MechaHack.
How do I make it go away?
I don't know. I think there's an X button you can click.
I
Alright,
don't see one.
your
Okay, it's fine.
mobilities, friends.
Mobility. That's a 3 under an 8. I cannot believe it. I have not failed the mobility check yet.
Wow. How
I have
about...
under 7.
Okay, so, I forget how it does initiative if you both succeed. I'm just gonna ask which one of you would like to go first.
I guess
Because both
is it
of you,
flying currently?
both of you are going before the Kaiju Tyrant, and it is currently airborne. So in terms
I-
of range increments, it would be far.
Can I shout to it with a kaiju roar and try to get its attention to come closer?
Oh, interesting. Give me a presence.
17 over 9 fail.
17 over 9, you do fail. I mean, it's still looking at you, at the two of you. You did blast it with a giant beam cannon, but it doesn't look... Well, it doesn't look scared, or it doesn't look less interested in Nightblade over you.
Can I climb up to one of the building tops if we're not already on it?
Sure. I'm going to ask for a power.
14 at 14, which I think is a fail.
Which is a fail. You go to climb one of the decrepit buildings, and it gives way underneath you. Roll me a mobility as you start falling.
Damn. Instead of that, because I don't want to risk anything, can I just take the fall and as I'm falling, throw the mine as far away from me as I can?
As he's falling, can I, like, since we both kind of passed our mobilities, could I try to attempt to, like, him, like, with the flat of my blade?
Okay, I think a little bit of you cut out that. You want to what with the flat of your blade?
Can I try to catch him as he's falling with the flat of my blade?
Okay. Okay, so I will let you do... I will give you a... I'm gonna give you a mobility.
Ooh, I suck at those. Okay. 12 over 7.
12 over 7. You try to position yourself to catch him, but he is going to fall. Dagger Eon, if you want to chuck the landmine...
I'd rather do that than try to roll mobility.
Are you aiming for anywhere in particular, or you just chuck it down a tree?
Away the fuck from us.
Okay, so you're gonna take some damage as you fall,
I'll take that in exchange for blowing up with the landmine.
but I will say you are able to throw it. You're gonna land on your back and take 2 points of damage. You're able to throw the landmine. Roll me a d20. You want under 10.
I matched it. 10.
You match it. You throw the landmine, and it hits some rubble and blows up. And this, I'll say this entire building, let me get my paint here. This entire building, this explosion, as I said, it turned a street into a crater. This entire building is rubble in an instant.
It's like seismic charge explosion merged with a nuke.
These are meant to take out Kaiju kings, essentially.
That's why I brought it with us. But falling off a building and dropping it at my feet, it would not be very good.
That is your turn, Nightblade. I won't give you unless you feel like trying to catch him would be one of your actions. I wasn't gonna say. I'd just say so that you have one action left.
Okay. I would like to essentially just turn around and face the kaiju and attempt presence as think straight up Imperial Knight war horn, right? You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes.
The entire yeah, 5 under 15.
5 under 15, and you're trying to intimidate.
Not necessarily intimidate, but provoke.
Okay, well, you let out this loud horn that shakes the city. As the horn goes out, Dagger Eon, you feel the street underneath you shake. That is how loud and amplifying this horn is. And you can see the red eyes of this bat-like kaiju immediately lock to you, Nightblade, as it will come rushing in towards you now.
Now we're talking. But I wasted the landmine.
And because it's flying, it reaches you, Nightblade, in one move. And it is going to approach you, and I need you to roll a mobility, please. As it is so fast, any windows that weren't shattered from your horn shatter under the speed of its wings. See what does your mobility give us?
It was Nightblades, right?
Yes, Nightblade.
Okay.
15 under 17. Or over 17. Or 7. Bleh.
Alright, so it rushes in with this quick movement, and it comes at you with its ripping talons of claws, as sharp enough to break through the metal of your mecha. And you feel its pain as it is going to tear into you for 11 damage.
11, that's a lot. Are you still up?
Yes, I am. I'm going to reduce 5 of that with armor. Yay. And then I will take the rest of that.
Alright,
which
so you're
will
going to
leave
take...
me at 4.
Yeah, you're going to take 6 points of damage as it tears a chunk out of the front of your mecha. That armor piece that you had was just torn asunder as we loop back to Dagger Eon.
Burn the thing! I'm going to use my special ability to give him a extra move or attack.
Oh, okay.
Is it close?
It is close.
I would like to try to swing at it with my greatsword.
Okay.
That is a 7 under 15.
You will strike the Kaiju Tyrant.
Oh, I'm not on the right thing. I'm smart. Pew. Let's see here. Damage die D6. That is 3 points of damage. And then I will rev my greatsword. And that is a 1. So, I just overdid it.
Ooh.
So,
Are you disabled?
yeah.
See, when you roll a 1 or a 2 on a D4 reactor die, your mecha becomes overheated. until you complete a rest. Overheated, can't take actions, and has disadvantage on all tests. You skip your next turn to expel heat and cool off, and lose the overheated condition at the start of your next turn. So you're overheated, so it just skips your next turn. You still do the damage, though, which sounded like it was 3?
Yes. Though technically I still get the rev off.
Okay.
So that would be another d6 of damage, which is a 5, so 8 altogether.
Alright, you rev into the Kaiju Tyrant and it lets out this horrible, horrible screech. And as you cut into it, its brackish blood splatters onto your mecha and begins burning away at the metal as you are dealt 2 damage from its acidic blood.
Is that to both of us if we're in close or no?
That is just going to be to Nightblade. I could rule it to both of you, but I'm just going to say it splatters onto Nightblade most directly.
Okay.
And Nightblade has been overheated. Anything from you, Dagger Eon?
Yeah, so that was my leadership ability, so that's 1 action.
Get away now! My second, I would like to just like flex my chest out, and then the circular heart is beginning to transition from the purple red, which it keeps changing, and then starts hovering only on the purple. And I'm going to chest beam it as it ignites another one of those major kaiju-like blasts of energy into its face. Test power. That's a 15 over 14. No!
Oh.
Okay, that means it doesn't work, but I still have to roll my reactor die, which is now a d4. That's a 4 out of 4.
You are
So I'm not
overheated.
dead, but my my chest beam does not go off. I quickly see it. My reactor's like starting to overheat, and I quickly shut it off and deactivate the chest beam just in time. But that's my turn. And then it would be Nightblade, right? But skipped.
And it goes to the Kaiju Tyrant, who is going to take this time and fly around this building, and you see it actually heads to the top of this high-rise and perches above it. Its slithery half, if you could see the other side of the rooftop, is dangling off, and it looks down at you, Dagger Eon, and you get this sense of, despite being this animalistic creature, it has this sense of revenge in its eyes as you see its own maw open, and this almost like
Bitch.
acidic bile spew up as it fires its own maw beam at you, and I need a mobility, please.
Not good. 8 over 8. Fail.
Fail. You are hit by its own maw beam, and you will take 8 points of damage as it slams you with this acidic beam of like almost purified stomach bile. And as
I'm at 0.
I
need to see if I explode.
When you are reduced to 0 HP, your mecha becomes disabled. You have to roll a d8, please.
The Star Wars die, that's not going to work for a d8. Hold on. 1 second. That's a ubiquity die. That's not going to work either. Okay, here's our real d8. A 2 over whatever.
You rolled a 2. As it fires into you, it blasts your kaiju arm, completely severing it and melting it from your mech.
Oh.
And you feel the arm just sever and fall with a thud as the acidic bile has melted it. Let's see.
There's actual pain registers on my face from inside the thing as it feels like I actually lost an arm while I was plugged into this mech system. The kaiju parts feel like my own body, so that really hurts.
You cannot take actions until repaired, so it goes back to the PC turns. Nightblade, you are no longer disabled. What do you do? Or you're no longer overheated.
Right.
You just saw
So-
your ally, Dagger Eon, get blasted with this maw beam, and its kaiju-infused arm just melted from its mecha.
Okay, so I still take disadvantage on all tests, right?
An overheated mecha, and you lose the overheated condition at the start of your following turn. No, you've lost the overheated condition, so you are fine.
Oh. I'm back at a D4.
Yes.
Yeah, I think
If it tried attacking you while you were overheated, you would have disadvantage. It did not attack you, so you're back at a D4 and no longer have disadvantage on all tests.
Okay, so I will take this turn to first enter into garrison mode. That is a 2, which would normally downgrade me, but I'm too old for this shit because I'm a vet. I
Love it.
only downgrade on a 1. And then I shall... Oh, why am I rolling? I don't need a roll yet to do that. For my second action, I will go into barricade mode,
Okay.
which I will have to roll a reactor die to do, and I just rolled a 1, so I am now like overheated again.
But you're still in your...
Yeah.
in your garrison mode.
Yeah.
But you are overheated. So you cannot take actions. That basically ends your turn, and so it goes
Can I-
back to the... unless you would like to do anything, Dagger Eon.
Probably unheard screams of pain at the loss of his arms are coming from inside my mech, and so I deactivate again, release myself from the cockpit, and as I slump to the ground behind my mech, into the actual concrete broken street, I kind of come back to. My arm is still there with me, so it's like the pain's gone, and I would like to climb up my mech up to the waist. You have to
Okay.
roll anything for that.
I will just say you can.
There's a grenade strapped to its belt.
Oh, and it's a
I will-
mecha-sized grenade.
Yeah, it's like probably like the size of my chest or bigger, I imagine.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to hang out there, ready to arm it manually, or do the prep work to arm it, but not quite engage.
Interesting.
ready.
Okay. So you're getting ready to pull the pin.
Yeah. If you can get close.
Alright, well it does come to the Kaiju Tyrant.
Ooh, that's one action, because you said getting in and out is free, right?
Yeah.
So can I shout at it just with my own voice and say, "Come on! Come over here!"
Give me a presence. And I will give you advantage.
I need the advantage. 5 and 10, under 9. The advantage saved me.
You shout, and in the quietness of the city, your shout carries, and you see the eyes of the Kaiju Tyrant lock onto your figure. And from inside, your systems are down, Nightblade. You are overheating, but you can still see out of the cockpit of your mecha that it seems Dagger Eon is setting for a suicide move. Do you try and shout despite your comms not working? What is your this is all in slow motion. What is your slow motion reaction?
I imagine that, like, he's just inside screaming. He's just been inside screaming this entire time. It's not, like, words. It's just, like, bloody foam.
And as you are screaming the slow motion, you can see the Kaiju Tyrant flying down towards Dagger Eon as you clutch to the grenade belt. Please roll me a mobility. with disadvantage.
That's for me.
Yes.
Was this to like jump away?
No, this is to... Well, this is to avoid its attack, but I imagine you're gonna go out
okay.
anyways.
Yeah, can I instead of trying to dodge it, use that split second to engage the grenade?
Sure, I still want the mobility.
Okay. With disadvantage, that is 18 and 16 fail.
So, the claws, the rending talons, it's slow motion as you are shouting out Nightblade, rendering, you're ripping your throat to shreds trying to shout towards Dagger Eon. You see this massive claw strike in slow motion and cleave Dagger Eon in two. It not only cleaves Dagger Eon in two, but you yourself, Moth, you feel this claw dig into your flesh as the grenades go off. Please roll me 2d10.
Well, I rolled 10. And it bumped the other die to a 3, but the second one is a metal die, and that rolled a 10 as well. So either 13 or 20, depending on if you count the displacement.
I will take the 20. You collapse. You are blown up. You are dead. You are gone. I'm going to... So you feel this explosion. Thankfully, Nightblade, the gigantic form of this Kaiju Tyrant was wrapped around Dagger Eon, so I'll say you don't take any of the blast. But you do feel the heat, and this puff of smoke goes up. Where there was a Dagger Eon no longer is, and on the ground lying next to you is a still twitching, barely moving Kaiju Tyrant, but you are no longer overheated, and it is your turn.
In the honor of my dead buddy, the moment that the internal skeleton is no longer entombing him and he's able to get the power back, he just immediately spins around and takes the greatsword down on this thing's back.
Roll me a power with advantage.
Oh man, I'm so glad that you gave me advantage. So the first roll was an 18. The second roll was a 2.
Oh!
Yes!
So that will be a d6 of damage. That's a 6. I will add the garrison mode, which is a 1. I would then like to roll a reactor die. That's a 3. So I will then add another d6 of damage, and then another garrison, which is another 1.
So you slam your weapon, I imagine you're revving it, and
that was the rev.
cut into the tyrant, the winged bat-like kaiju. Please describe how you finish it off and kill it.
I would like to then roll another reactor die. That is a 2, thank the heavens. To use my second attack, my second action as another attack, as he just twists the blade. So that's another d6 of damage, which is 2, which would incite another garrison, which is 4. I will then rev the blade while I'm twisting it, so that's another reactor die. That's another 2. I will then roll the chainsaw 6, which incites another garrison, which is another 2.
So you take your... It's an axe or a sword?
It's a great sword.
You take this chain sword, this chain great sword.
I
you
imagine
slam
after
it.
that twist, like after he brings it down and then like twists it while he's revving it, like I imagine that like the chain actually fucking breaks and like
Yes.
wraps around its fucking neck, like and like grinds up the blade because it's still being fed, you know?
You slam down this chainsword, grinding it into the Kaiju Tyrant. It is letting out horrible gurgling screams. It tries to let out one more screech, but its throat is just filled with blood and bile. And you twist it, and you keep twisting it until the chain of your sword snaps and breaks off, but it keeps going. That momentum of the heavy revving is just ripping this thing to shreds. Its arm flies off. You cut through its wings, they fall off. It cuts through it, shredding its skin horribly until the only movement that is left is this snake-like death throes, and it lies dead. What is your current HP?
2.
Almost poetic. I will not ask you to roll on the D8 system, but almost poetic as you're chaining and sawing into this creature without abandon. Some of its blood does splash on you, and you feel your systems go limp as you stand there in your mech, systems down, Kaiju dead, and the sun rising on a quiet city. Which is where we shall end this one shot and say goodbye to YouTube. So, my lovely players, if you wouldn't mind joining me in saying goodbye to YouTube.
Goodbye, YouTube. Thank you very
Goodbye,
much for
YouTube.
enjoying this
Goodbye.
Kaiju fight.